This philosophy start? Well, it starts with how we approach our week, and more specifically, how we look at Mondays. It is time for a major reframe.
Now, what's so fascinating here is this shift from absolute dread to empowerment. You see that term heart attack Monday? That wasn't just a clever phrase. Statistics actually showed a spike in heart attacks on Monday mornings because people were waking up to lives they absolutely hated. The new mindset is about taking your heart back, reclaiming your purpose, taking back your direction, and owning your energy.
And this isn't just some feel-good motivational fluff. The source is crystal clear. If you don't have that internal driver, that reason that makes you want to get out of bed, your journey will eventually just stop. Purpose is what keeps that fire inside you burning.
Okay, so let's build on that. To keep that purpose alive and kicking, you have to constantly be updating your perspective. It's kind of like getting a new prescription for your glasses. When you get new information, suddenly everything comes into focus with new clarity.
So, with this new clarity, let's look at the world right now. There's this wild prediction from a billionaire CEO about who's perfectly positioned to win in the age of artificial intelligence. And I'll bet it's probably not who you think.
First up, people in skilled trades. Yeah, think electricians, plumbers, builders, the folks who work with their hands. Their work is physical, it's complex, and it's really hard to automate. As AI changes everything, these hands-on skills are becoming more valuable than ever.
Now, the second group, this is a total game changer. We're talking about neurodivergent individuals. The whole argument here is that these unique ways of thinking are shifting from being seen as a weakness to being a massive advantage.
And this is where that reframe we talked about really clicks into place. Instead of a handicap, these conditions are being seen as gifts, as superpowers. They can allow for this incredible laser-like focus or unique perspective that can help someone become the absolute best in the world at something specific. The future rewards thinking differently.
I mean, the source shares this incredible story about a man who worked in maintenance. Some people might have seen him as having a limitation, but his superpower was this insane memory for facts, like the birthdays of thousands of actors. Back in the day, it was just a strange quirk. Today, that kind of talent could make him a viral TikTok star. So the big takeaway here is how we should be using this new technology. AI is a tool. That's it. The real power happens when a thoughtful human mind uses it as an assistant. You have to remember, garbage in, garbage out. If you feed it a weak idea, you're going to get a weak product back.
And you know what? This new AI-driven reality means we have to completely blow up the traditional blueprint for what a successful career looks like.
We're seeing this massive shift happening right now. The old path, college, mountains of debt, and then maybe, hopefully, an uncertain job is being replaced. The new path is all about tangible skills, real-world experience, and actually doing things, executing on ideas.
But let's be real for a second. Why did so many of us go down that old road? The source suggests it wasn't always because it was the smartest choice. A lot of the time, it was because we wanted approval from our parents, from society. It was just the expected thing to do. So this is a big moment for reflection. I want you to really think about this. With the information you have today, knowing what you know now, would you still have taken on that student loan debt? Would you have made those same career choices? A lot of people are realizing the answer is no.
Okay, so if the entire path to success is different, then the way we work has to be different too. It's time to move away from just pure brute force effort and start building intelligent systems.
So what does that even mean? Well, the core idea is to build something that isn't just tied to your 24 hours in a day. By using partnerships, automation, even leveraging different time zones, you can create a system where, while you're fast asleep, someone on the other side of the planet is wide awake helping your business grow.
And listen, this is not just some pie-in-the-sky theory. The source points to a real-world example. A 19-year-old who pulled in $250,000 in sales in 1 month. How? It wasn't by working harder, it was by working smarter with a leveraged system.
And this just proves it. Getting incredible results like that isn't about luck. It's not a random roll of the dice. Success is a behavior that you can learn. It comes from applying a totally different mindset and a different strategy.
But at the end of the day, all of this new perspective, this incredible information, it's all completely meaningless without one final, absolutely crucial piece of the puzzle.
It all boils down to this super simple but incredibly powerful equation. Information on its own is just potential. It doesn't change a thing. Real, true transformation only happens when you combine that information with decisive action.
And that right there is the ultimate warning. The biggest regret you can have in life isn't failure. It's looking back years from now and realizing you had the opportunity,
You had the information. The light bulb went on, but you chose to do nothing.
So, we'll leave you with that thought. The perspective has been updated. The blueprint for a whole new way of thinking and working is sitting right in front of you. But the choice to actually pick up the tools and build something with it, well, that's entirely up to you.
Yeah, hustle bear in the building. Adrenaline truth, this that run up the hill grind. Pressure make diamonds, I've been cutting through the steel line. Dreams don't chase you, better get it while the will grind. Legacy's a blueprint I've been building on the real time. If fear's in the room, I'm the one to make it goes quick. Faith in my chest, watch me load it like a full clip. Haters catch the wave or get washed in emotion. Action over doubt, that's the hustle bear doctrine. I've been running through the noise with a fire in my lungs. Every setback was a lesson, now I'm speaking in tongues. From the bottom to the summit, all I needed was a spark. Now my pain got a purpose, see the light in the dark. Ay, motion over madness, that's the code that I keep. Every dream need a soldier, I ain't losing no sleep. Put the doubts in the dirt, plant the faith like a seed. If you want it, go and get it, that's the hustler's creed. I woke up with a mission like the rent due on my oxygen. Purpose in my pocket, every loss became a document. I'm calibrated differently, my hustle got a doctorate. Turn my fears to employees, got them working on my confidence. Life hit me with storms, but I learned how to monetize the rain. Pain became a passport, now I travel through the strain. People love excuses, cause excuses never change. But action pay the bills, that's the truth inside the game. Had to cut some ties there, weight don't climb. If your circle ain't moving, then you running out of time. I ain't waiting on a sign, I was born to be a beacon. Hunger ain't a mindset, it's a language I speak in. Every day is overtime, I ain't got no halftime. Walking with a lion heart, built it from the bad times. Legacy's a contract, God signed the bottom. Now I hustle like the devil, never wanted me to blossom. I done fought my own shadows, had to box with my doubts. Took the quiet route to freedom, now my voice too loud. You can measure a man's truth by the storms he survives. I took every closed door as a gym for my mind. Pressure got a flavor, I've been learning how to taste it. Fear is just a wire that your courage gotta break with. This grind ain't pretty, it's sweat, grit, pavement. But comfort is a prison and dreams don't do arrangements. I came from the trenches of excuses and delay. Now discipline the engine, keep me pushing through the day. I ain't working for the moment, I'm investing in a name. When your legacy the mission, every step becomes a flame. People talk potential like it's somehow gonna save them, but potential's just a debt, action's how you gotta pay it. Success ain't in the future, it's a choice in the now. And if you're waiting on approval, you ain't ready for the crown. I've been running through the pain like a treadmill on fire. See the ashes of my doubts, that's the proof I'm getting higher. Every no became a hammer, built a kingdom out of trials. Faith drove the steering wheel while hustle held the tires. Ain't no elevator up, just the stairs of intention. Gotta climb with conviction, every step is a lesson. The grind is a mirror, what you see is a reflection. If you lazy with your actions, you gon' struggle with direction. Had nights where I cried, but the tears paid dues. Had fights with my pride, but the growth came through. Every scar got a purpose, every bruise got a clue. If you scared of the fall, you ain't ready for the view. I'm a soldier for the dream, that's the oath that I keep. Motivation ain't a moment, it's a promise you repeat. If you walking with excuses, you ain't walking with me. And if you want another level, you should hustle like a beast. I've been running through the noise with a fire in my lungs. Every setback was a lesson, now I'm speaking in tongues. From the bottom to the summit, all I needed was a spark. Now my pain got a purpose, see the light in the dark. Hey, motion over madness, that's the code that I keep. Every dream need a soldier, I ain't losing no sleep. Put the doubts in the dirt, plant the faith like a seed. If you want it, go and get it, that's the hustler's creed.
The reason most people never make their first commission online has nothing to do with traffic, offers, or email lists. I'm about to show you what it actually is and why fixing it starts with one link. You've probably been here before. You found a system that looked legitimate. The sales page made sense. The price felt manageable. You bought it. Then you opened it up. Module 1 was fine. But somewhere around Module 3, when the training assumed you already had a list or an audience, or some technical setup you never heard of the clarity drained out of it. The gap between what the training says to do and what you can actually do right now opened up. And here's the part nobody in this industry will admit: that gap is not your fault. It is a design flaw. Comment hustle, and I will share with you the earn as you learn system that pays complete beginners real commissions for taking the training steps before they make a single sale.
On January 1st, the world will experience something unlike anything. It is the day the Hustleverse officially makes its debut. Welcome to the Hustleverse will be the first installment of the greatest collection of edutainment music to ever be created for the Hustleverse, and your first opportunity to get access to a movement designed to inspire, motivate, and fuel real hustlers. 2026 album of the year has arrived, and this is just the beginning.
I give you food for action, don't choke on the truth. This lesson I prepared was made just for you. Feast up, I'll keep serving till the pot run dry. Got enough cooking to feed the whole country, no lie. Too many flavors, you know, I got what you like. Don't start beefing with me, you won't win this fight. If you come in peace, keep your teeth intact. I got a plan to get this cake, come grab a stack. Life could be sweet, if you listen, you'll see. Food for action on a platter, served fresh by me. I'm serving knowledge on plates, got the recipe down. A blend of hustle and wisdom, that's my sound. I'm feeding the masses, no crumbs, full course. But if you bring nothing to the table, find the door. Stop acting like you got beef, it won't taste right. This flavor's reserved for those ready.
Okay, family, we are live. We are live. And once again, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of the Hustlers 10-Minute a Day Challenge. Today is Strong 43, day 2, and we are right at 14 minutes into today's challenge. So let's start to peel the curtain back. And I'm gonna tell you right off top, I'm not gonna keep you guys too long today. Today is a Tuesday. We know what today is. It's training day Tuesday. So we have a live training that's going to be held in a little bit today. We're going to check the time on that in a few, but we are going to go over and share a few pieces of pertinent, important, inspiring, motivating, um, light bulb giving information, right? So hopefully you'll get the message today. You get that light bulb moment, and you know you'll be able to join us later on for the live training being hosted by my business partner, right? So I want to ask you guys, how did you enjoy the intro training? The intro training by, one of my business partners, one of my favorite business partners, which is the AI. It gave a lot of great points and, recaps of yesterday's live, right? So information that I shared with you guys yesterday, he recapped it perfectly. And I want to just go over a couple of points. I want to make sure that you guys are really fired up and that you are in a position, in the best position to take advantage of all of the information we have. And so that you can make, as I often say, the rest of your life, the best of your life, right? So, purpose. One thing that stuck out, there was a line in there where he said, purpose is what keeps that fire burning. So, on a daily basis, are you doing things with purpose? Do you feel as though you're living in your purpose? Or are you doing things just for, the the motion? You just doing things, just going through the motions, as they say. You're living a life that's set up not for you to be particularly happy, but for you to just make it through till the end. Are you just looking at the time clock and saying, "Hey, everything is starting to count down and I'm just riding it out." Now, that's a horrible way to live. And that's something that, we all have to, switch our mindsets from and start to develop a mindset of prosperity, a mindset of purpose, because that's going to be the thing that leads the rest of our life to being the best of our lives, right? Now, I want to go right quick to a story that just came out. And of course, I pulled up, you know, one of my best tools, which is the new tab section in the browser. And there's always some new stories to be told. Now, we've been talking about specific situations for the last couple of days, over the last week, right? And they've been interesting. Some of them been a little funny. Some of them have been, eye-opening, and the stories keep continuing. Now, I like to mix a little bit of politics into what we talk about because it's important. Politics is important, and it's kind of entertaining. Nowadays is a lot more entertaining than it was in previous days, I will say, or I should say in previous administrations. Now we have someone in office that he's more of a actor. He's a businessman, but he's more of an actor. He's somebody that actually he's been in movies and things like that. He's been featured on shows. He's part of a specific scene of people. And we're coming to find out, or if you didn't already know, I've known this for years, but he's a character and he's going to show his character in every situation. So there's something that popped up, and here's the headline right here. Trump has mental breakdown, posting deranged public message to Pam Bondi. Now we know Pam Bondi has recently been relieved of her position, right? And we thought, hey, okay, you've been relieved of your position. And we suspected that there's going to be some more stories to come out after the fact. So the latest story was yesterday we talked about how, you know, it wasn't bad news, it wasn't anything scandalous, but she was just out spending the day with her family. And they turned that into a story. Of course, once when, things get in the news about, something bad happening to you, then the news start to, want to grab at you. They want to stick around just to see what else you're doing. And then they want to make that even sensationalized, as simple as going out on, celebrating Easter with your family. And that turned into a story. But now, this right here, it wasn't even a big story. It was just a kind of a one liner. I'm not sure exactly what happened or what was said, but it was enough to have it be a somewhat of a headline. Trump has mental breakdown, posting deranged public message to Pam Bondi. Now that hook, as we always talk about in online marketing, that's a strong hook. That's enough to make me want to find out. Now, I clicked on this link, right? But it didn't take me anywhere to really give me any detailed information. So now I have to go do my own research. More than likely, it was something that he might have posted on his social media network, which is uh, Truth Social, right? So I might have to go check that out. But another story popped up. This one right here. And this one right here stuck out to me because I know of the history somewhat of this particular artist. So I had to pull it up. And as it says right there, former Migos rapper Offset shot in Florida. And I had to check it out to see what this was about because it took me back. It took me back to what happened previously in previous times, a few years ago, in a situation where his relative, I would say his brother, I would say his cousin, right, was shot and killed. And it was a tragic situation where, The circumstances around it is still haven't been fully hashed out. But it was a situation where it was a dice game. It was a gambling situation that went bad, and he became a casualty of that situation. And now to see the latest news where this member of the rap group was actually shot. So it says here, health update and the key takeaways, right? Former Migos rapper Offset, Kyrie Kendrell Cephas, was shot outside a casino valet area in Florida and is in stable condition, being closely monitored in hospital. Now that right there, that stuck out to me, and it took me back once again. Now we often live our lives, and we are able to reflect on past situations that we've been a part of, and we say, hey, we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to try to avoid certain situations that led us to problems. If we had problems, um, you know, going to certain areas or visiting certain people, then you might say, "Hey, well, I'm gonna avoid going visiting these people or going to these particular areas because I know what it has the potential to bring out." So I'm looking at this, and it particularly reflects back on that time for me because once again, it was a gambling situation. It was a dice game, and this right here, being shot coming outside of a casino valet area. Right there, it just makes me think, hey, maybe he was in the casino, possibly gambling beforehand, before the situation happened. And it just makes me think, once again, from this individual, yeah, I might not want to just change my life completely. Maybe, I like to gamble. I like to, bet money. I like to do this, that, and the third. But just knowing, just having have experience, been there years ago during this time, this situation, knowing what gambling and, betting on things in that type of environment brings, and probably still having it, heavy on your heart, the situation that occurred. Me personally, I probably wouldn't want to be around, I wouldn't even want to be around a dollar store that sold dice. I wouldn't want to be around anywhere that had anything to do with gambling or being around people that, when hostile times come about, they're liable to, go off. And especially when there's money involved in gambling and things like that, right? But not to say that this situation is specifically about that. Maybe he wasn't gambling. Maybe he was just staying at the hotel, and the hotel just happened to have a casino. Maybe that's the case. But it says here, police investigation. Incident occurred on Monday evening. Two people detained. Injuries are non-life threatening, and the investigation is ongoing. So this is a good thing. So it's non-life threatening. Now, I'm not sure where he was particularly hit, but the good thing is this is another situation where he's able to get out of it with his life intact. Now, it's going to be a time of reflection again for him. Now, whatever he decides to do with this time of reflection is up to him. If you look at it and you say, hey, this is the second time that I've been in a situation where possibly there's been gambling involved, and, people with high emotions and being in certain situations, that there's been a shooting, then you might say to yourself, there won't be a third time. See, life has a way of showing us things and giving us reality checks and putting us in positions where we have to learn hard lessons. And every day when you're building your business, you're going to be in a position that you either going to, it's going to go smooth for a little bit, but then you're going to get a reality check. You're going to have to learn those hard lessons. Sometimes the lesson is that what you're currently doing, the way you're doing things, is not working. Sometimes you're going to have to look in the mirror and say, hey, I've tried this, I tried that. It's not the particular place or situation that's the problem. It's maybe it's just not for me. to do it in this particular way. The casino area isn't a bad place. The casino isn't a bad place for everybody, but maybe the casino area is just a bad environment for me to be in and for me to conduct myself in the way that I consistently conduct myself with the people that I consistently attend these situations with, right? Sometimes you have to look at your environment and you have to look at the people that you have within that environment. And then you have to really dig deep within yourself and say, you're the common denominator. Whenever I show up here, it turns out to be this type of situation. Whereas millions of people go to casinos, they go to the casino valet area on a yearly basis, and nothing happens. Now, not to say that any particular people or person is cursed, but it could be signs that you're given in order to help you avoid certain situations, to help you have those light bulb moments that tell you that maybe this is not for me. This is not the type of environment. This is not the type of message that I need to send. This is not the type of strategy that I need to, you know, impose and, take part in order to be the most successful possible. There are blueprints that work for certain people, right? And those blueprints don't necessarily work for everybody. That's just a fact. A blueprint is just a guideline. It's some boundaries. It's some things that say, hey, this is the route. This is the road to get to that successful place. But once again, whether you choose to walk it, run it, skip down the road, do cartwheels, that's up to you. And depending on who you are, you might be skilled enough, and it might be your destiny to run the whole way through without tripping on that journey. It might be just your thing, something that was just meant for you in order to be successful in the fastest possible way. Or you might be that person that has to take it slow, that has to walk that journey, that has to pay attention to every little rock and crevice in the road because, you know, that crack in the road might be where you, you personally will get tripped up. Whereas everybody else, they might see the crack in the road and be able to just skate on by without any problem. But you might be that special person that will twist their ankle in that particular crack in the road. You've seen people walking outside and somebody will step off the sidewalk, something that millions of people do every single day. But this one person, they step off the sidewalk and they trip, they end up tripping, falling into traffic or twisting their ankle or whatever. And you be like, man, that's wild. And now you looking at that sidewalk yourself, you're like, man, now you kind of a little conscious of it. Like you want to be extra careful because you couldn't imagine tripping off the sidewalk. It's never happened to you before, but it happens to some people. But this right here, I'm glad to hear that it wasn't a tragic situation. It was non-life threatening. And this artist, he's going through some things since that that tragic situation years ago. Recently, he's been going through a divorce in 2024 from his ex-wife and another popular artist, Cardi B. So their divorce is settled. He's been, on social media saying certain things. They've been having their back and forth. But once again, life has a way of putting you in your place. Maybe telling you that you need to change whatever it is your habits are in order to keep yourself safe. So let's transition. I just wanted to share that story with the right person so that they can possibly get a light bulb moment and be able to reflect on their lifestyle, how they do things, and what is possibly designed for them to be successful, and it might not be the same thing that's designed for other people to be successful, right? Different strokes for different folks, as they say. So today is Tuesday, and let me scroll down because once again, there's a live training today. And if we look right here, over here in the EST time or EDT, either way, EST time at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? There will be a live training held and hosted by my business partner, Mr. Wayne Crow. The name of this training will be Blueprint Training, the webinar profit formula. So, this right here is something that is going to be very educational. It's going to teach you a specific blueprint that might just work for you. Now, you won't know if it'll work for you until you actually learn the information and you take action. Just like I said in that earlier training video, right? So it says information on its own is just potential. Action unlocks it. So you get the information, you take action on it. So just to go a little bit deeper into what this is going to be about. So Wayne Fro reveals the webinar profit formula, the exact system he uses to produce high converting live webinars multiple times a week. Forget courses and content. This is where the real money is. Live Tuesday. If you're in the UK, 7 p.m. If you're on the East Coast, New York time frame, EST time is 2 p.m. EST. So I hope you guys are able to join us, and that will be in a matter of over 4 hours, right? So almost 4.5 hours away. So hopefully that gives you plenty enough time to do whatever else that you have to do, and you can be ready for this particular opportunity. Now, if you decide that you want to join us beforehand, before the live, right? There's a exclusive way that you can actually get access and be able to profit from this live event. All you have to do is start off here with the most valuable document in all of online marketing, the Hustler's 10-Minute a Day Challenge. Now, in this document, there's a special link, and that link is right here in what I consider to be the second line in the document, right? This right here says grab your mega link. Now, not only when you click the link, you'll be able to get access to information that's going to help you grow your online business and be able to grow a business, period. Whether it's online or offline, you'll be able to use the skills learned in this in order to grow any type of business you want. But it'll also give you access to be a part of all of our live trainings so that you won't miss the opportunity to actually earn while you learn. Now, if you get started before the live, that gives you an opportunity to share this information with your particular community. And if they attend the live, then you may have the opportunity to earn a commission even before anyone purchases anything. Just for sharing information that's going to help people get the information that they need, access to the tools that they need in order to build their business, access to the coaching and mentoring that they need. And the great part about it is when it comes to customer service and everything else involved in a traditional business that you have to pay thousands and thousands for each month, you don't have to pay that. You'll have a team that's dedicated to coaching and mentoring your prospects, you as well, so that every single week and multiple times a week, right? As it said right here, you'll have access to these things that'll allow you to learn just about every day. There's something on the calendar. So usually Monday through Friday, there's exclusive trainings that you can attend And once when you're part of this amazing system, you'll be able to learn a new strategy, a new blueprint, a new piece of the puzzle that might be specifically designed for you. Now, that's what it's all about. And that's what we do here in the Hustler's Secret Success System inside the Hustleverse, right? We give you various aspects of life situations, universal laws, universal things that go on within the world. And we hope that you use that information to make better decisions, to guide you and direct you. Maybe you might go outside today, take a walk, go traveling, and for whatever reason, you might pay a little bit more attention to that curve that you about to step off of, that sidewalk that you about to walk off of, right? You might actually ride past a casino, and maybe you might decide that you want to go in there and, do a little bit of gambling. Or you might decide, hey, I'm gonna avoid the casino today. But every piece of the puzzle is designed to give you some helpful information to help you guide your life and be more aware of the things that's going on around you so that you can avoid certain situations, and hopefully so that you can make decisions to take action on the things that you need to take action on. So with that, I'm gonna keep my promise, right? It's 9:38 a.m. EST time. I'm gonna close out. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's live and got some valuable information. I'm pretty sure that tomorrow there will be some more headlines that we can discuss, some more light bulb giving moments, and maybe we'll talk about today's live. Maybe we'll, reflect back on today's information, and maybe you'll have a good story to tell about how it led you to making a decision that led you to a more profitable life. So with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Let's close out. Let's pull up the video, get it queued up. And once again, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Woke up to silence, dreams still heavy. Phone screen dry, but my vision stays steady. Mama said, baby, that job ain't your lane. But I clocked in anyway, chasing someone else's game. That got me dancing with denial at night. Scrolling for hope, but it's hidden from sight. 10 minutes a day, sounded small at first. But in silence, even whispers can't quench a thirst. Notebook in hand, wrote my future in ink. Mapped out my mission before I started to sink. Every post was a prayer, every share had weight. I wasn't selling a link, I was shifting fate. I found my rhythm in the quietest place, where hustle meant healing and grind meant grace. From the corner of doubt, I carved my space. Legacy ain't loud, but it wins the race. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. People laugh, said she doing too much. To my PayPal pin, then they changed up the touch.
No big brand, no six-figure crew, just a mic, some lyrics, and a dream that grew. Tired of waiting for the gatekeeper's call, so I built my own stage, held my own hall. Suno on deck, that's the beat in my chest. GPT spin like I'm born to impress. Said I'd never make it, cool, noted. But now my bars turn pain into coated. From broken to branded, I ain't asked for fame, I asked for freedom and I claim my name now. Hustle berry on loop like healing chance for the girls who grew up with limited chance. This is more than a challenge, it's breaking the chain. Cause 10 minutes a day rewired my brain. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom. Now the vision stick, no hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. Now my daughter sees me different, eyes full of fire. She said, Ma, your words lift me higher. This ain't a hustle, this a heart-led path, where math meets message and message meets math. Community over clicks, value over hype. I ain't here to trend, I'm here to type blueprints for the ones still stuck in fear. Let them borrow my belief till their purpose clear. Haters still quiet, but I'm loud with grace. Posting in peace, not a mask on my face. Every bar I drop, every beat I write, I'm freeing the